Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine with the Alabama Cares program. I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and we have yet another great show today. We have Emily Hollingsworth, who is a licensed physical therapist assistant, LTPA, all the letters. She'll talk about that a little bit later. And Angie Furman, who is also a LTPA. And then we have Alex, I'm hoping I'm going to say this right, Cruthards.
That's it.
Okay, she's a speech language pathologist from Regional Medical Center at the Tyler Center's Physical Therapy Department, right? So thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
We always try to bring you guys great and wonderful resources for our community, and you're one of our resources in our communities. And so you are a licensed speech therapist,
That's correct.
Wow. Okay. So a speech therapist, you evaluate, diagnose, what else do you do?
Yeah, so as speech therapist, we're trained to evaluate, diagnose, and treat a variety of disorders that are related to speech, cognition, swallowing, voice,
There's a lot more to it than just speaking.
Correct.
Like with anything, you don't realize what all is involved with it.
Yes,
correct?
absolutely.
Okay. All right. So you help people with strokes. I know that. So what other types of I guess diagnoses do you deal with?
Yeah, we work with a lot of different populations. So we work with people who have had strokes, traumatic brain injuries, certain cervical spine surgeries like ACDS. We see people after that. We see a lot of neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's disease, and yes, dementia is one of those. We see people with lots of voice disorders with varying etiologies, as well as different swallowing disorders. We're trained to evaluate and treat for all of those things.
Okay, so people that have all kinds of, I guess too, like neck cancers.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything to do with that affects your speech,
Yes.
correct? So let's talk a little bit about Parkinson's, because it affects the voice in ways that I never thought about.
Right.
You're the expert, so tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. So a Parkinson's disease diagnosis, we often think about Parkinson's as those uncontrollable movements.
Right.
And how Parkinson's affects the voice is a person gradually gets quieter and quieter without even realizing it. And they also lose control of their speech movements, so like the articulatory movements. And so we have a program that allows us to work with them on their loudness as well as their speech articulation, so that they can continue to communicate functionally with their doctors, with their loved ones. And yes, so as they reduce their loudness and as the disease progresses, we can do things to help them with their long-term needs.
Right.
And then there's also...
They were just showing the graphics up there, what all you can do. That's amazing.
Yes, and there's also an aspect of swallowing that can affect somebody who has been diagnosed with Parkinson's. So because of decreased sensation,
that makes sense.
yeah, so we are trying to evaluate their swallowing through instrumentals. We have access to modified barium swallows over at RMC, where we actually watch someone eat and drink to make sure things are going down towards their stomach and not towards their lungs. When it goes down towards the lungs, that's called aspiration. And if we can get ahead of things, we can kind of go ahead and get ahead of something like aspiration pneumonia or malnutrition that can be caused from dysphagia is the word for a swallowing disorder.
Because I do dementia and Alzheimer's education, so I remember that word very well. So, wow, and you hear so many people, especially older people, but I guess all ages with, they could ask for, it goes down wrong and all bad things could happen, like pneumonia and all that, like you said. So you hear really all ages. So what age groups do you mostly see? I know it affects everybody, and I know that one of the people that we had on our show not long ago, Katie Fordham, she was actually diagnosed at an early age, but and it hasn't affected her speech yet, I don't guess. But but what are the main, I guess, the typical client that you would see?
So you're wondering about age group?
Yeah.
I'd say I'm seeing most people in their 60s and 70s. A lot of people, even if they're diagnosed younger, they really start seeing the effects once they get older, and that's when they start reaching out for resources. And the good thing about like the LSVT Loud program is that you can come in for that program at any point of where you're at in your diagnosis. So if you feel like, oh wow, you really can't hear me when I talk,
right,
we can do something for you. Or if you're like, I really want to get ahead of this,
right, that's what I was going to ask.
yes,
yeah.
we can do some work on getting ahead of it so that you don't lose your loudness, but the program can also work at getting your loudness back so you can continue to communicate.
So how would somebody be able to get into your program? Do they have to have a doctor's referral?
Yes, you would need a referral from either a neurologist or your primary, and if you're wanting to come see us at RMC, the Tyler Center for Outpatient Therapy, therapy is 4 times a week for 4 weeks. If we're doing the LSVT Loud program, that program itself is evidence-based, it's very effective, and we have homework assignments as well as
homework.
Yes, yes. As well as carryover exercises, because if you're going to put in that much work of doing 4 days a week for 4 weeks, you want it to last.
Right.
And so that's what that program is designed to do. Exactly.
You lose it.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's where you come in and tell them to go do your homework. You got to keep doing this,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's a great program for making sure that we have these lasting effects. And we can also do kind of like touch points, even if we're done with those 4 weeks and you feel like, okay, I need to brush up on some of my strategies. We can also arrange for that. But yes, you do need a doctor's referral to come and see us.
And evidence-based programs those were the ones we love too in my programs. We love evidence-based programs because it means that there's evidence that it works.
Yeah,
so
for a program to be called evidence-based, it does have to be backed by lots of research.
Yeah, lots of research.
And so it's not just like one article came out about it.
Right.
It's been...
Which happens a lot.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Not just one article came out, it's been researched a lot, and so that's another great thing about LSVT Loud.
And you said that Parkinson's effects, you said, their tone, you said that, and they can be slurred.
Yeah, it's called dysarthria.
Just like a stroke patient could be as well.
Right.
And wow, swallowing issues too, like the hoarse voice. I mean, you're seeing all these things on there, and you wouldn't think about chewing issues, but that has something to do with swallowing because you have to chew before you swallow.
Yes,
so all that goes
absolutely.
hand in hand, like you said. So, wow, I'm learning a lot, aren't you guys? So you said that it's for 4 weeks, and to find one of a provider, they can go to the website.
Yeah, so if you're looking for an LSVT Loud or big provider near you, you can go to lsvtglobal.com, and there's going to be a tab at the top that says find a provider. You'll put in your zip code, you'll put in your radius, how far you're willing to drive, and it'll bring up a list of people that are certified in your area in LSVT Loud.
Okay, that's great information to know too. And plus, not only that, I'm sure you guys serve the surrounding areas too, like the Cleburne, Clay,
Yes,
Talladega.
absolutely.
I'm sure that people travel all over. And so, for all of you that are watching outside of our area here in East Alabama, if you're watching, in Opelika, Lee County, those areas, or if you're up in North Alabama or even in Georgia, I'm sure that they could go to the same website, right?
Absolutely.
And see. Or if you can't find anyone, you can always come see Alex.
That's right.
Right? Tell your doctor to come, that you want to come see Alex. So, so a typical day for you. How many clients? How many people do you normally see a day?
So I personally work inpatient and outpatient, and so I see people.
So you see people. You make rounds in the hospital.
I make rounds in the hospital as well.
Okay.
And so our list varies there, but outpatient, where we see our LSVT Loud patients, or if anybody's had a stroke or a recent dementia diagnosis, or a lot of those other things we listed, voice disorders, stuff like that, I'm seeing anywhere from 8 to 10 patients a day in that setting. It depends on how long each session is, but at least 8 patients a day.
That's a lot of people to see every day. Wow, wow. So that's amazing. So so you being a licensed speech therapist, so what steered you into this part of the therapy, working with these type patients?
Right. That's a great question. Well, when I was in school, I just had some pediatric placements and I had some adult placements, and I especially loved, I had a placement at an ENT, and I loved getting to know the head and neck cancer patients and counseling through that, as well as voice.
That's you. Yeah.
That's me.
All about you.
As well as the voice patients, and so that really just pushed me towards like what I'm doing now, and also the dysphagia piece of things, that difficulty swallowing, just seeing people after their swallow study, maybe they haven't ate or drank anything in a while, whether it's because of a stroke or head and neck cancer or traumatic brain injury, and to do a swallow study for someone and they get to eat and drink again. And that's just, it's very
got to be an awesome feeling when you're when you see your work has come, to, I guess, full circle, and that they've become better.
Yes, exactly.
That's rewarding. It's rewarding in our job too, when we work with patients, when we work with family caregivers. So, do you have any other things that you want to tell anybody about RMC's Tyler Center, where you work or what you do?
Well, just please know that we offer pediatric services. We have an amazing pediatric therapist, speech therapist, who sees children who have autism and articulation disorders and language disorders, fluency disorders, so things like stuttering, and I see a few pediatric clients as well. And we offer services across the lifespan. And so if anybody listening is in need of anything that we talked about today, we talked about a lot of different populations, a lot of different diagnoses, and so please talk to your doctor, reach out to us, and just ask to talk to the speech therapy department, and one of us will be there.
Make sure you call them, go to that website that we showed earlier. And thank you so much for coming today and letting us know about all this. This is very interesting and something that we all need to know. You may not need it at home, but now you know where to tell somebody at church or somebody that you may know. So we're going to take a short break. You are watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program, and we will be right back.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
I'm Alan Parnell with Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Hey guys, this is Blair Smith at Pediatrics Plus here in Anniston, located on Henry Road. I'm over here on the well side, but we do also have a sick side urgent care if you need us. We are more than happy to see you guys. Just come on, check us out if you get a fever, cough, or cold, or want to come in for a good checkup. Thank you.
Backus Bibles and Books is dedicated to providing churches as well as individuals with products and services geared towards strengthening every relationship with Christ. We specialize in Bibles, Bible imprints, Bible restoration, church supplies, home decor, gifts, and apparel. Call us at 256-201-1202 or visit us Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 1100 Highway Drive in Oxford, Alabama. We look forward to serving you, equipping the people of God to expand the kingdom of God.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program. It is Friday morning, and I know it's early, but we're talking about some good information today. And we just talked to Alex from RMC, from the physical therapy. She did speech therapy. And so now we have Emily Hollingsworth. She's a licensed physical therapist assistant, LPTA, in case you hear us use those initials. And then we have Angie Furman, who's also a LPTA. We just love all these acronyms, don't we? My agency does that too. But we were talking about with Alex about what all she does. And so you guys do a little bit different than she does, because she does just speech therapy, pretty much. So let's go into, she talked about the loud and all that kind of stuff. So what do you guys, what's your main focus there at the Tyler Center at RMC? What do you guys do?
We do physical therapy. So we do, our biggest thing is we do LSVT big, which we focus on the big movements, focusing on treating orthopedics and, well, let me back up. We can treat anything outside of Parkinson's. So we can treat orthopedics, neurologic disorders, traumatic brain injuries, so strokes.
Okay. So you said chronic pain.
Chronic pain.
To improve their mobility, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And strength and all that good stuff.
Right.
So, and I guess range of motion goes into that too. So, you provide those and everything. So you evaluate, I'm sure, and just like with Alex, you have to have a doctor's
Yes.
diagnosis, correct, or referral, right? You can't just come see you and say, "Hey, I need therapy, Emily."
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
And it's LPTH. We can't evaluate.
Correct.
A registered therapist has to do the evaluation.
Gotcha.
And then we follow up with their.
Because that's why you're the assistant.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
But
Yes.
your job is very important, what you guys do. So, because you guys do a lot of stuff. So, you can't. But you said you cannot. You cannot do that with the patients. That they have to do that. But do you guys see a lot more of the Parkinson's? Do y'all focus more on that, you think?
We do see a pretty good bit of the Parkinson's population, especially since we have started the LSVT big program at the Tyler Center. So we have 3 certified LSVT big therapists there, and between Angie, myself, and our PT, Brittany Shiflett, we do a lot of.
Does big stand for something? No, it's just big.
It's just big. It's just big.
It's just big. Okay.
We want them to do big movements.
Big movements. Okay,
Yes.
there you
They
go.
emphasize really big movements.
But you know,
Think
I
big.
came to you had a first time event last Friday at the hospital, and I mean, I'm going to brag on you a little bit because that was a good turnout
Thank
for
you.
a first event, and I've been to many events, and that was very good. I mean, and I actually talked to a lot of the not dementia patients, but the Parkinson's patients that came through there, and even had one gentleman talking about doing the kickboxing at the local YMCA.
Rock
That's
Steady.
the
Yeah.
Rock
Rock
Steady.
Steady.
That's specially for those patients. I mean, and I was like, no fair, I want to go to that. But so Parkinson's, what does it affect, and what do you guys see, and how can you help them?
So, from a motor movement standpoint, it affects how they move. It makes their movement smaller, so it affects. It causes bradykinesia or slow movements, and it affects how big their movements are. So hypokinesia makes their movements. Bradykinesia is slow movements, and hypokinesia is small movements. And it makes a mismatch between what they think they're doing and what their body's actually doing.
Well,
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're trying to get those neural pathways. You know, it's called what's the word I'm looking for?
The neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. You know, because and like you talked with Alex earlier about doing the 4 times a week for 4 weeks. So you have to do all those big movements in order to kind of.
They get homework from y'all too.
They get homework from us as well. Yes, and they have to do those big movements in order to work on that neuroplasticity.
Right. And I've talked to Parkinson's patients before that say that they don't realize that they're because what they're thinking they're doing, what they're doing is like 2 different things. I have talked to, and that's amazing to me. The brain is an amazing thing.
Yes, it is.
I mean, wow, it does so much, right?
Yeah.
And I've had, patients too that, we've had patients that are on our program that talk about how they don't want to get out anymore because, they just can't move like they used to, or they can't, it's just hard for them to live a normal life.
Their quality of life
Right.
is
It really
decreased.
suffers.
Yes, it does.
Right, and so through physical therapy and moving, I'm sure with anything, if you, like I told Alex, if you don't use it, you kind of lose it. So no matter, and I'm a firm believer that I tell all my folks, when you meet somebody, you don't go up to somebody and say, "Hey, my name is Ellen and I have Parkinson's."
Exactly.
Because that's not who you
That's
are.
not who they are.
That you shouldn't let that define who you
Right.
are. It's just a card that was dealt to you that you have to deal with, and that you work through it, right?
Right.
And do the
Yes.
best that you can,
Yes.
and to live life because you're here for a reason, right?
Right.
Well, that's my feeling anyway.
And we take so much for granted, us that
Right.
that does not suffer from anything like
Right.
that. Just the little bitty things,
Right.
getting out of bed in the morning. We teach them to do big movements, how to roll and get out of bed in the morning.
That's amazing. If
Right.
you think about it, because I mean, when we get out of bed every morning, we don't think, "Oh my goodness, I got to move my legs over
Exactly.
and have to get." I mean, we just do it.
The heavy covers laying on you, how to get the heavy covers off of you in the morning. So
And you don't think
you
about
don't think about that.
And that's the thing with the program is that all of these, so the movements that we teach them are based on salient tasks that are important to the person that is in the program. So all of the exercises, the first part of the program, none of the exercises are different from patient to patient. All the same exercises happen regardless of what your level is, whether
The first part of the program.
the first part of the
Okay.
program. Every exercise is the same day to day, and every patient that comes through the program will do those same exercises
Right, on the
from
first
day
part.
1 to day 16.
Okay.
And then on the second half of the program, those exercises are tailored to that patient and what is important to them. So we, on the evaluation, ask them what they're having trouble with, whether it's buttoning their clothes or getting out of bed,
Writing.
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 So
Signing their name.
getting their pants on or off, getting out of bed, getting a
How
cabinet,
about
getting
socialization, like going to church?
going to
Yes.
church,
Like
getting
just
in and out of
yes.
the car,
Getting in and out. That's what I was
Yes.
about to say.
climbing
Getting in
a
and out
step,
of the car.
opening a door, any of those tasks that,
That's amazing when you sit there and think about it.
and then
isn't
we'll
it?
break those tasks down or work on those tasks specifically.
Or being able to spend time with your grandchild.
Exactly.
And sit for a period of time, or I'm sure that would probably be.
Pick their grandchild up.
Yes.
Right, that'd be
Yeah.
an issue.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
and every portion of the treatment includes walking so that they can work on the big arm swings and big steps. So that they're safer walking in the
coordination.
community, building that coordination, building that large amplitude movement, improving their gait and their quality of their movement and their safety.
Like people, you see, and I know like with dementia patients, sometimes the brain tells you, part of your brain that tells you to lift your feet up with dementia patients, sometimes it's gone and they shuffle and everything. But I'm sure with Parkinson's patients that therapy can help that, whereas it really can't help a dementia patient so much sometimes because of their
Right.
thought process sometimes, but I'm sure that's like an issue as well.
Yeah.
We do take a lot for granted, don't
Yes,
we?
we do.
Wow,
Yes, we do.
that's amazing. So, and it says, you said small movements too. How about you? And one of the things that was listed was freezing. What does that mean?
So freezing is where their bodies just kind of get stuck and
Oh.
it's one of the common symptoms that Parkinson's takes over in your body where they just kind of get just stuck to the floor. It's one of the motor symptoms of Parkinson's, and that's something that we can help them overcome with strategies. We call them freezing strategies, and there's the 4 S's, where you stop, stand still, shift your weight side to side, and then step big. And that's one of the ways that we can help them overcome that.
It's like a reset.
Yeah.
It's like a reset
And you don't
button.
really think about that though either. I mean, because when you think of somebody, you know, and this is like myths and everything, you know, but when you think of somebody with Parkinson's, you think of first person that comes to mind is like Muhammad Ali or someone that, you know, you think of constant movement. So you wouldn't really think, or, you know, or Michael J. Fox, I mean, or you wouldn't think of freezing would be one of the issues, and that cause fall problems, fall issues.
Absolutely.
You got to think too, with Parkinson's disease, it manifests itself, you know, differently in different people.
Right.
You
Just
know,
like
like
with
with
any
Michael
disease.
J. Fox, you
Yeah.
know, that has the constant
Right.
movements. You know, some people, another person with Parkinson's disease may not have that.
Right.
That issue.
It's just like with everything, though. I
Yes.
think, like with breast cancer, lung cancer,
Right.
any kind of diabetes, whatever it is, people are dealing with. It's not the same in everybody.
That's right.
Right.
Right. So everybody's a little bit different. Wow. So so you say it's intensive movement-based therapy, and what is PWP?
People with Parkinson's.
People with Parkinson's. Okay. I learned something else new today. Hey, you're never too old to learn anything. That's why we have this show every Friday, and I really do appreciate you guys taking your time away from your work to do this, because I think this is very important. We talk about things that sometimes people don't want to talk about, but if you yourself were not dealing with Parkinson's, you may know somebody at church, you may know somebody, I mean, next door neighbor, maybe a friend's mom, or somebody that, you know, may just be going to the doctor and have no clue that the doctor could prescribe or refer you to refer them to therapy. And wow, what a big impact you would have on somebody's life to make just everyday things easier.
Much better.
Right?
Yes. We have a gentleman right now that was in our program that 2 to 3 times a week, you know, we have like a wellness program at our therapy department where we work at the Tyler Center, and he comes in 2 or 3 times a week to work out. And he's been that religious for that ever since he
Takes sticking to it too,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Wow, that's
Consistency.
amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, we're going to hold that thought. We're going to talk some more about that. We're going to take a short break. You are watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine right here with the Alabama Cares program, and we will be right back.
The Civilian Marksmanship Program, also known as CMP, is a national organization dedicated to training and educating U.S. citizens in responsible uses of firearms and air guns through gun safety training, marksmanship training, and competitions. Their vision is to lead the nation in marksmanship excellence, providing safe, high-quality, and innovative programs with a focus on youth. For more information about the CMP and upcoming events, visit thecmp.org.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller, and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
Hey, this is Jason at Reeves Insurance. Just want to say a quick thank you to all of our customers for your support over the years. We now have offices in Anniston, Alexandria, and Oxford in order to serve you better. So stop in and see me or any of our experienced staff and let us shop for you to find you the best price and the best coverage available. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program. It is Friday, or as we like to say, Friday. And I have all my guests, they have to do the Friday dance with me. So we go, Friday, it's Friday. So you're not going to dance and do Friday? Hey, yay. Oh, they're good sports. Some of my guests do. Some of them are just like, no, I'm out. I'm not going to dance. But it is Friday, and we're here to bring you some information and give you some good resources that's out in our community. We try to bring that to you every Friday. And so this Friday we have Emily here and Miss Angie. They're from the Tyler Center, and they're with the physical therapy there. And we've been talking about Parkinson's disease and the LSVT Big program. Got it right. Okay. And before the break, you were talking about a gentleman that actually comes, and you said he works out how many times?
2 to 3 times a week.
Yes. In the physical therapy.
Yeah, well, he's in our wellness program, which
Okay.
is something we offer at the Tyler
So
Center.
so they can like dual enroll. They can do the big thing, and then they can go to.
Well, any of our patients are
Well,
able
that's
to
awesome.
do the wellness program.
So he's like really trying.
He's dedicated.
So how
really
far
dedicated.
has he come? Like as far as from the first time you saw him to now?
Oh, I remember the first time he walked in the door, he had to have his brother help him into the department.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So he couldn't. He
He
was
had
off balance.
he had
or-
what we call a festinating gait. You know, like you were talking about the freezing a few minutes ago. His feet were just kind
Oh,
of.
it took him forever to get into the clinic.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
and now he drives himself.
He drives himself?
Walks into the department with his little cane, and works out on all of
I'm
our
gonna cry now.
all of our weight equipment. And
I mean,
he's
That
he's
is
dedicated.
absolutely
he still does his
fantastic.
exercises, his big exercises.
And see, that just goes to show, guys. I mean, when you put your mind to something, you really can do it. It's mind
Yes.
over matter, right? And like we were saying earlier, I mean, just because you have Parkinson's or if you have anything that you're dealing with, that's not what defines you. And this gentleman has not let that define him.
no, he
was
has
like,
not.
no, you are not winning.
He works with wood.
Yes.
He does woodwork.
Oh,
So
And that was one of his big things, was that he couldn't work in his shop. And so when he graduated
So when you
from
graduate
the program,
the Part 1 program, that everybody does the same exercises,
Yes.
right? Everybody does the same exercises on Part 1.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
once he finished with the program, then he was comfortable enough to go back into his shop, and he
And
was
then
able
the
to do
second
that.
part, you focus more on his movements that he would do maybe in the shop?
Well,
or-
yes. So like the program, the Part 1 and Part 2, they're all in the same 4 weeks.
Right.
But you
But you
we
just
would
formulated it more
toward him.
Toward
What
him.
he
his
could do.
specific
Right.
task that
Yeah.
he needed to focus
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
And then when he graduated from it, he was able to feel comfortable enough to get back into his shop.
That is awesome.
And so he's back in there.
I bet that
working on
makes
his
you guys
things.
feel
It
good.
is
doesn't
wor-
it?
and it never fails when he walks into that gym. He's gonna say, "Hey Angie, hey Miss Angie, hey Miss Emily." He knows just about everybody that works there now.
So it's a very gentleman. Was he the one that's sitting in the back in the?
Yes.
He was at the.
Yes.
I think this
that's
is also a
precious.
great socialization opportunity
is.
for him. 'cause
And
he-
you know, that's so good that you bring that up, because that's one of the things that we focus on too with the Area Agency on Aging, because you know, with dementia and Alzheimer's education that I do, there's certain things that you can do, you know, to kind of keep your brain going and all that. But one of the things they say is to socialization, and like keeping up with 5 people every week. Because if you keep up with 5 people every week, you have to remember what you talked about last week.
Right.
That keeps your mind going.
Right.
So socialization, I think, is key. And plus, not only that, it helps with your mental health. I mean, just your overall, because we're social beings, you know.
So he lost his wife and they only had one daughter, so he lost his daughter as well. So, you know, this is another opportunity for
So
him
this
to
is
get
like y'all are like his little family.
his little family.
You guys are,
and we welcome him.
Yes.
Oh, that is so awesome! And what a
Yes.
great story. So, what other kind of stories? So, you guys were talking that you have like all different ages that come, but you also said that you had more
men
men than you
women.
see women. That's very interesting.
I've had at least 3 ladies come through. And like I said, we work on those salient tasks. And I had a lady that wanted to get back to cooking, but her spouse was fearful because of her her current level.
Scared she'd
And
get
she was scared
burned or
she'd get
something.
burned
Yeah.
or would drop something from the tremors that she had. So we practiced it. We worked it in. That was one of the things she wanted to be able to stir.
wow.
So after we practiced it, we have a kitchen, a working kitchen at the Tyler Center. And so we worked it into her treatment that day, and we cooked.
Isn't that awesome?
We did, as one of her hierarchy tasks, we made cornbread muffins.
Oh, awesome.
And that was her treatment that day, and she did
But you know,
really
that
well with
treated
it.
more than just her physical. I'm
Right.
sure.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Self-esteem,
But
self-esteem, self-confidence.
yes, because like you
Yes.
said, you know, there's so many things that we take, you know, we just,
Cooking.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
cooking.
Just being able to cook.
She told me later
We
that
take it for
night she went
granted.
home and cooked cupcakes. Yeah.
And I bet her husband wasn't mad about that either,
No.
was he? Wow, that's amazing. So what are like, have you seen younger people too as well?
Usually, I would say between 50 and 70
Yeah.
is about our age.
About age
Yeah.
group?
Yeah, 50 and 70. Yeah.
Right. And so are the majority of your clients the Parkinson's clients, you would think?
Like that we see like on a day-to-day
On a
basis.
daily basis?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we see
For
in our
like in
clinic.
therapy or for the program?
For the program, you have to be a Parkinson's patient, correct? Or no?
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. Okay, so with the big program, so
VT.
big program. So do you see the majority of your clients are Parkinson's then?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I would say
Okay.
that.
Yeah. But now at the Tyler Center, we see a wide variety of patients,
Right.
varying diagnosis. We see everything from orthopedics to chronic
Strokes,
pain, strokes.
CVAs.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen
Amputees.
physical therapists before in my lifetime too. They were not always my favorite people to go to. But thank God for physical therapists.
Yes.
I will say that, because without physical therapists, I wouldn't be walking or using my arm. I mean, I had shoulder surgery, knee surgery. You guys are wonderful what you do.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
Yes, you don't get enough credit, and I know you probably get lots of bad words and ugly faces a lot, and grimaces all the time.
You grow tough skin.
You do.
Yeah, because I'm sure now that you've done this. So how long have you been doing this?
30 years.
30 years.
Almost 20.
So 50 years between you guys. I mean, I'm sure that you guys now know, look, they say that now, but at the end, they're going to
Yes.
hug me.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's
Exactly.
what happened to me.
Exactly.
Every day I'd go to physical therapy going, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Then when it was over, you know, I hugged them.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually cried because I never thought I could be back where I was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and I can only imagine the gratitude that you guys get from people that are suffering with Parkinson's and stuff, their spouses.
Yes.
It's very rewarding at the end of the
Exactly.
day when you see them come in and they're having so much trouble doing certain things, and at the end of the day or at the end of their 4 weeks, and then they can say, I couldn't do this before, and then they get to this point, and then you see that they can dress themselves and they can put their pants on and
Button a shirt.
stand up by
Right.
them, just stand up by
a jacket.
themselves.
Put on a jacket.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so when you, just like the gentleman that comes in like so many times a week, I mean, that's got to be rewarding.
It is.
It
To
is.
see them and how far they've come. So besides him, what would be your best story, you think?
I had a gentleman that he ran a business. As a matter of fact, he did a lot of traveling, like overseas and things like that. And his office at his home was upstairs.
Oh dear.
And his wife never wanted him to go upstairs because she was afraid,
He'd
that
fall.
he would fall. So that was one of his, tasks that we had to work toward, was going up and down safely, up and down stairs.
Right.
So he was able to make it upstairs to his office, and it was like the first time he had been in years,
Years.
and he was just over the moon.
I bet.
Just to be able to
Little
go in there,
things.
little things,
Like you said, that we take so much
he,
for
he
granted.
felt like a human being again.
Like he had purpose.
Like he had purpose.
Yeah.
So.
So
yeah,
what's your best story? Besides the cooking corn muffins, that was a pretty good story.
Probably the cooking muffins. That one was a fun one for me, but then
There's so many.
there are so many.
Not putting you on the spot or anything.
Oh,
It's just, I mean, and I know that like in my line of work too, I mean, it's just, you know, some days you get so discouraged sometimes, you know, and you, like you said, you have to have thick skin, you know.
Yeah.
I work with, you know, our programs are federally funded and state matched, so it's, you know, I don't make the rules, I just go by them kind of thing, and, you know, you get people that are aggravated or whatever, but it's that one client, you know, that calls you or writes you that letter that says, you know, this meant just, and something that you never even would have thought meant anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? It means the world.
And also
Oh,
family members also,
Oh,
you know.
yes. Because I'm sure, because, well, and we work with caregivers.
Caregivers,
So
yes.
caregivers suffer a
Tremendously.
lot. They have a
yes.
lot of stress, and when that person that they're taking care of is stressed out, they're even more stressed out because they got to try to keep it together.
When they're able to do more for themselves, that takes less stress
Yeah.
off of that caretaker.
Exactly. And they take
So-
better care of
They
themselves.
take better
once-
care of
yes.
themselves. Yes.
Yeah.
I had a fellow that wanted to be able to ride his bicycle again. That one was
Yes.
that was a
Yes.
that was a fun one,
Oh, wow. And he wrote it.
and he did.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Wow. And look, you know, y'all, we take so much take so much for granted, granted. And like you said, you know, it's just when you see that person like and their family members, and people don't realize the impact, because caregiving is hard, guys. It's hard.
And the program, you know, is for the family also. You know, we want the family to be involved also, the caretakers, because sometimes you'll have an individual that doesn't want to do their exercises like they should at home. So we have to really stress to that
So
caretaker.
you have to get the family member, the
we
wife,
have to get them
or the
involved,
husband,
and also
somebody.
make sure that they're doing them correctly.
Correctly.
Because you know they're given the exercises to do at home. You know,
Right.
handouts and things like that.
And it helps when everybody's on the same page
Yeah.
too,
Yes.
and it helps you guys, helps your job to be
yes.
a little easier, right?
Right.
So we've got one more segment left today. I'm sorry, tonight. I'm just looking forward, I guess. We are going to be right back. We're going to take a short break again, and you're watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine right here with the Alabama Cares program, and we will be right back.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
I'm Alan Parnell, the Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Hey guys, this is Blair Smith at Pediatrics Plus here in Anniston, located on Henry Road. I'm over here on the well side, but we do also have a sick side urgent care if you need us. We are more than happy to see you guys. Just come on, check us out if you get a fever, cough, or cold, or want to come in for a good checkup. Thank you.
Backus Bibles and Books is dedicated to providing churches as well as individuals with products and services geared towards strengthening every relationship with Christ. We specialize in Bibles, Bible imprints, Bible restoration, church supplies, home decor, gifts, and apparel. Call us at 256-201-1202 or visit us Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 1100 Highway Drive in Oxford, Alabama. We look forward to serving you, equipping the people of God to expand the kingdom of God.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching Alabama Cares Rise and Shine right here on WEAC TV 24. And I have Miss Emily with me, and Miss Angie is here. And we've been talking all things about Parkinson's and the programs that you guys do and all the wonderful stories. There's some really good ones. And you guys do such wonderful work. Thank you for all that you do in our community. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. If you missed the stories, if you missed the first part of this show, you need to go back and rewind it, watch it. You need to go back on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're watching it. You need to go back and watch the whole thing because it's really good. They got some great information. So, Miss Emily, we're going to start with you. So what made you say, hey, you know what, I want to be a physical therapist? And even more so, I want to work with this program and work with Parkinson's patients. What led you down this road 20 years ago?
Well, I was 18, had just graduated high school, and I was helping my mom out in the nursing home where I lived at the time. And the PTA came out and was like, I need some help in the therapy room. And I was like, I'll go help you. I didn't know what I was getting into, but
you were 18.
I was 18. So I went down and helped her, and then signed on to help be her tech at the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then here I am now, all these years later.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
So I was a tech for a little while.
This is all about Miss Emily.
It's about me.
Here on the screen. Yeah.
And now fast forward. During COVID, I signed up, right before COVID, I had signed up to do the LSVT Big certification. And at the time, it was just a certification. I was like, that sounds like a good thing to do. But as I took it, and, COVID kind of changed things. I was actually going to go to UAB to do the certification in person. And then COVID happened and shut everything down.
COVID killed all
COVID
that.
happened. And I ended up doing it online. But I really ended up loving it. And it
piqued your interest.
Yes, I didn't realize how much I would love it. And now, since then, I have really started loving all things neurological, and it has just opened up so many paths for me. So
and it's interesting. It's interesting to me because our bodies are amazing.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
And the brain is amazing.
The brain is amazing.
Yeah, the brain. When I go to schools and I do elementary kids too, and when I talk to them about what's going on with Grandma and Grandpa, I read them a little book and everything on their level, and we talk about it, and I talk about what the brain does, and they're like, I don't know, it makes you think, and I'm like, well, it makes you breathe, and it makes you,
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, okay, so yeah, it's an amazing thing. And who would have thought all those years ago, just because you went to the nursing home to go visit? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. Well, you're always placed in places which I think that
I
you
think
should
so
be.
too. I think so too.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I do. So how about you, Miss Angie? What made you decide?
Well, I grew up playing sports and softball, basketball. But
At what high school?
I graduated from Asheville High School in St. Clair County.
Okay.
Go Bulldogs.
That's all about Miss Angie up there.
But I had a friend that injured her knee playing softball, and I had the opportunity to go to a physical therapy visit with her. And just seeing what they did and how they were able to, work with her and get her back.
And I see that you got your a Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science Wellness from JSU.
Go Gamecocks.
Tax State,
Yep.
yes, ma'am.
That was in 2003, because at the time I was thinking about going back to get my PT degree, but life happens.
But that's wonderful that you went back. Gosh, Lord, I feel your pain right now. I'm in school right now. 4 more classes. 4 more classes. I'm counting down. But that's wonderful, though.
Yes.
And we were talking during break about how, people that do these types of work, we're not in it just because we want to be a millionaire one day, because that's not what's there, trust me. But you're doing it because you have a servant heart and you want to give back and you actually really care about people. And that's wonderful. I mean, that's wonderful. The first time I ever met Emily, too, she had the sweetest smile, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Thanks.
She's probably a good physical therapist.
Oh,
I'm just glad she's not mine, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of know that, because I think people that work in these type fields, they just exude it. Like, I mean, you just, either you like it or you don't.
Right.
I mean, there's no in between.
Right.
I mean, because I'm sure once you're in college and you start it and you're like, you might need to change your major, you know, kind of thing. But I mean, if you go through it, and like you said, you got another certification, you got all these certifications, you went back to school. I mean, that's a wonderful thing. I mean, not just everybody can do that.
Yeah, I became interested in the LSVT Big, you know, because of Emily and Brittany, our PT, Brittany Shiflett. You know, I saw how much they enjoyed it, and you know what they were doing in people's lives to improve their quality of life. So that really sparked my interest and really
when you know that you can make a big impact.
Yes, exactly.
Right, and so, and I'm sure just like with the LSVT, what was the other one that Alex did?
Loud.
She does loud because she's speech.
Right.
Remember that, okay? LSVT loud, and she said it's evidence-based, so I'm sure that LSVT big is evidence-based as well. So there's like a lot of research that goes into this. They're not just going to throw you to the wolves and say, oh, well, we think this will work, right? So, right?
No,
and I'm all about evidence-based programs. We are with the state. I mean, that's the ones that they want us to do. They don't want us to do these that are, that are not. So I get it. So if, just like with Alex, I asked her how somebody could find someone that does what you do, because I mean, we have viewers from all over. So if you're not in East Alabama, like where you can get to the Tyler, because I'm sure you guys, like I said with Alex, you guys serve the surrounding area.
Yes.
So I'm sure you see people from all over, from Cleburne, Talladega, Etowah, maybe.
Clay, Randolph,
Cherokee, all those counties. But if you're like in Lee, Russell area, or if you're up in the Huntsville area, or if you're in Georgia or whatever, they can find a clinician. How can they find a clinician?
You'll go to the LSVT Global website. It's www.lsvtglobal.com. And then at the top, you'll find the tab that says Find a Clinician. And then enter your location. You can look by city, state, zip code, and then just you can filter by LSVT Loud or LSVT Big, and then it'll filter the results.
So it'll just list you all the people that are in your area or whatever, where they can call. And so they do, to be able to be in these programs, they have to have what? They have to have a doctor's referral?
Yes.
They have to have a diagnosis, a doctor's referral. You can't just go. I mean, I know they're sweet ladies, but you can't just call them and say, I want to come see you to do physical therapy. So you have to have a doctor's order, and you have to have a referral or whatever. Okay. And so, but if they're in this area and they want to know a little bit more about you, so they can tell their doctor or something, is there anywhere or a phone number that they can call you guys to get more information, get a pamphlet or something, anything?
You can call us at the Tyler Center. It's 256-235-5688.
Okay, so remember that number. And then, so do you guys have a Facebook page or anything like that they could go to?
I don't know
Do you have social media?
Facebook. I think the RMC Cares website.
RMC Cares? I figured they had a website or social media or something that you can go to as well. But you can call them, and I'm sure they can give you all that information. It's so wonderful what you guys do. It really is.
We really enjoy it.
Love it.
Yeah, and I can tell. I can tell you do. And Alex too. I mean, I really do appreciate y'all being on the show. So, are there any last things that you would like to tell our audience? I mean, any other stories or any other things that you feel like you might need to tell them that they might need to know?
LSVT does not have to be just for Parkinson's.
Well, that's good to know too. Right.
We can do a trial run in some cases. It's for people with Parkinson's and other neurological conditions.
And other neurological conditions. That's important to
yes.
know.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be Parkinson's disease. So if you have a condition that your doctor thinks that LSVT Big might help, then you can ask them to refer you to the program for that. And then we can always do a trial run and see if it is beneficial.
So what other, for the audience out there, so what other neurological?
Sometimes sometimes a stroke could benefit. Certain types of strokes might benefit from the program.
Okay.
Anything that has taken your amplitude of movement away, so if you're moving more small, anything that might make you freeze or festinate, that could
that be like a head trauma too?
Sometimes head traumas could do that
like
to
from
you.
a wreck or something like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be Parkinson's disease,
Right.
but
Parkinson's is the main.
that was
one
what it
you
was
do see.
designed for.
Right. And we actually had Emily come and speak to us last month at the community health series that we have every month. I need to let you guys know that. You don't have to live in Calhoun County to come to it. And it just amazes me because sometimes we'll have 10 people and sometimes we have 100 people. I just don't get it. I would like for everybody to know that we do have the community health series. We actually partnered with Oxford Health Authority with a community paramedic, and we have it at the Oxford Civic Center every single month, and it's a free program, free. I can't explain that, cannot stress that. And what we do is we try to just bring different speakers, and you were one of our speakers, and this is free, and you can go to these events. We have, of course, vendors that are set up that give out freebies, and we have door prizes, and that's our events for 2025. But in May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And May 20th, we are going to have Fred and Kathy Folkley. They're from the foundation, but Fred is actually a counselor, and he was actually on one of our morning shows a few weeks back, I think it was at the end of April, towards the end of April, talking about their event Out of the Shadows that's coming up this Friday, actually. So we're wanting everybody to know that, because where else are you going to go to get free education where you can actually ask questions and not make an appointment to go see them in the office? You don't have to do any of guys, I cannot stress this enough. We had James Spann last November that came, but we've had doctors there, we've had lawyers there, we've had all different kinds of people there that just come speak and give out great information.
Good information.
Yeah, good information. Well, thank you ladies for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I really do appreciate it, and I hope that all of you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday and wonderful weekend. And make sure to catch us next Friday because we got another great guest. And as always, we will see you, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
The Civilian Marksmanship Program, also known as CMP, is a national organization dedicated to training and educating U.S. citizens in responsible uses of firearms and air guns through gun safety training, marksmanship training, and competitions. Their vision is to lead the nation in marksmanship excellence, providing safe, high-quality, and innovative programs with a focus on youth. For more information about the CMP and upcoming events, visit thecmp.org.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller, and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
Hey, this is Jason at Reeves Insurance. Just want to say a quick thank you to all of our customers for your support over the years. We now have offices in Anniston, Alexandria, and Oxford in order to serve you better. So stop in and see me or any of our experienced staff and let us shop for you. We'll find you the best price and the best coverage available. Thank you.